Hello everyone, welcome back to Mecha Rewatch. We're covering episodes 34 and 35 of Gundam Wing today. I'm Cossak and Lawn, and with me as always is Lawn Dragon.
Hi.
For episode 34, we don't have an updated blurb yet.
No.
In fact, it's an even older blurb than the last one, I think.
It's, weirdly outdated.
Yeah, but with new footage.
Yeah, it is an updated blurb, but it's updated to it's telling us about different things. It's doing that thing that old shows do where they reframe things in order to tell you what's going on now, even though that's not how the things they're depicting happened at the time.
Yeah.
Right, because they're talking about, the colonies being taken over and execution orders being put out for the Gundam pilots over current footage of them fighting Romefeller. But, that's not why they're fighting Romefeller. That's not been a thing for ages.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they talk about the Gundam pilots being isolated, but they're not anymore.
No, they're not. Well, I guess... So. See,
Some of them are.
I think what it is it's not really about this episode. It's about next episode. They are reminding us of the other Gundam pilots that are still out there.
Sure.
That not all of them have gathered in the Sun Kingdom
That's fair. Hiro, we continue where we left off last time, with Hiro continuing to get wrecked by an endless swarm of mobile dolls.
Yep.
And then he is bailed out when it looks like because his mech's down, he can't move.
Yeah, from that knee hit.
Well, it's not just the knee hit, because he gets hit more times at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, but they focus on that knee hit. It glows like...
Yeah, it did that. Well, it did the knee hit during the opening blurb, and then transitions into him, firing a couple more shots, and then getting hit more times.
Right, but also every time he tries to move, they go back to the knee.
Sure.
They are focused on that knee.
Sure. Anyway, he goes down and can't get up. And he gets bailed out by a Treize faction bonsai charge.
Basically.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think would work on mobile dolls, but whatever.
Yeah. But they do it, and Hiro hops out of his mech, catches the dying words of one of the dudes who somehow managed to survive his mech being blown up long enough.
Survive and be out of his mech and just be kind of laying on the ground with no mech wreckage around.
And his body is completely intact.
He's unclear what he's dying of, other than he has lost the will to live.
Who knows? Yeah, he's been dispossessed and can't live anymore. Anyhow, Hiro then decides, he looks off to Castle Treize in the distance, and it is Castle Treize.
It is.
And decides, I'm gonna go there. Then we cut to Duke Dermail finding out that their attack failed, and we have one of the funniest deadpan line reads from a side character especially.
Yeah.
In this show.
Because Dermail is like, how can our attack have possibly failed? We had overwhelming force. And the guy just goes, a Gundam.
Yeah, and the most, duh.
Yeah.
What else could cause this?
Right. Do you not understand what show you're in?
Yeah. And Duke Dermail goes, send even more mobile dolls.
Yeah.
Overwhelm them even further.
Naturally.
And then we cut to Hiro raiding Castle Kushrenada.
Yep.
And finding out that the security system in Castle Kushrenada, which Treize has still not turned the lights on in Castle Kushrenada. He's been sitting in the dark this entire time.
But he does have, Jabba's security system from episode 6.
Yeah, he has a biometric security system.
Well, combined with HAL.
He has a biometric security system. Well, it's not really HAL, because it's just an automated voice asking a question.
It has a big red eye thing.
Yeah, that's a retinal scanner.
How?
It scans Hiro's retina. It's not symbolizing, the robot speaking. It's just there for as part of the biometric security system. Lawn, this is saying that
the giant red circle full screen when the robot talks.
Yeah, but that robot is not gonna do anything other than give a bunch. It gave a bunch of literal stock like robot responses. It's like saying that Walmarts all have a HAL 9000 because their self checkouts have stock automated.
No,
responses.
they don't have big red eyes that are the full screened when it talks. Like, it looks like HAL.
Okay, fair enough, but like that, and maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for. It's a weird thing to go for. That thing's never going to show up again.
No, I didn't say it was. It's just it's like HAL.
Fair enough. Anyhow, Hito tries his biometrics because, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it asks him for his name, so he gives it. It's just like...
And, like, puts his hand on the little handprint scanner, and it lets him in.
Works.
And he's not even really truly surprised by that, because he knows Treize.
Treize, yeah. Yeah.
And Treize almost pulls a, like... Hiro Yui, I've been expecting you. Almost.
Essentially what he does.
It's what he does. He doesn't actually say that line, but he basically is like...
Hiro uselessly points a gun at him because... Okay. Some advice for the listeners. When you are pointing a gun at someone and they do something, shoot them. Mm-hmm. You do not allow a person you are pointing a gun at and threatening to just keep doing what they want. The point of pointing a gun at them is to make them stop doing things.
Yes, it's to make them stay still or they will be shot.
Right.
If they continue
If you do not follow through on the or they will be shot portion when they start moving, they get to do what Treize does here, which is pull a gun on you.
Yeah, that doesn't... He does a lot... They do a lot more waxing philosophical before...
Yeah. There's a whole lengthy... It's absolute nonsense.
Treize continues to spout weird pseudo-philosophical bullshit.
He sure does. Again, and he walks towards Hiro and, like, walks around him while Hiro points the gun at him, and it's just like, make him stop. Don't let him do that. You're pointing a gun at him.
If I had to rewrite this scene, I would just have Treize give Hiro the classic "We're not so different, you and I" speech.
That's basically what he's doing. Well, it's not... Because he's a little different. It's not that they're not so different. It's I'm gonna make us not so different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you what I've seen, and you're gonna be like me.
Yeah.
You too shall be cursed with vision.
Yeah. And he does this by revealing to Hiro Gundam Epion.
I mean, there's even more than that, because there's also, he pulls the gun on him, and then there's this whole discussion of, like, well, shoot me. Well, I don't care if you shoot me. Well, we can mutually shoot each other. That's fine by me. Oh, never mind.
And Hiro, notably, Treize is disappointed in Hiro.
Yeah, he's constantly like... He's got a very like, wow, you didn't shoot me. I really thought you were going to. Wow, you're not arguing with me. I really thought you were going to.
He's got this idealized version of Hiro in his head, and Hiro is not living up to it.
It's got that very... God, I can't remember what it's from. But they're fighting, and the villain is like, oh, clearly we're not operating on the level of mutual respect that I thought we were. Like...
Yeah, what was that from?
I can't remember what that's from, but it's a very, like, poignant, like...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were, like, mutual nemeses, like, fencing with each other, and no, you're just some guy.
Right. It also reminds me of the scene in Megamind, the very similar scene where Megamind creates his hero to fight against him, and then the guy doesn't do the banter. He doesn't do it. Yeah. He's like, no, we're supposed to start this off with engaging in witty banter.
Yeah.
It's very much that kind of thing where Treize is like, I had a very, like...
I thought there was going to be give and take on this philosophical exchange, not just me ranting at you.
Yeah. Also, like, I had a very set expectation of how this was supposed to go, and you were not playing by the script, and I'm very, very upset about this.
Yeah, you were supposed to try to shoot me. I was probably going to, like, dodge or something.
And continue to, like, show you...
Yeah, then we would get in a sword fight. Like,
yeah, like look, I had this whole thing like
I have these 2 swords right here for us.
I had a whole room set aside for the big sword fight to happen in. Like, look, I was going to like slide down these stairs, and you were supposed to jump on the chandelier,
right?
And like
I
cut
set
it
this
to
chandelier
swing
up with like weak support specifically so you could ride it down.
Well, and Hiro asks him, why did you let me in with your security system? Oh, I set my security system to let you in months ago.
Yeah, months ago. Literally not after all this stuff with like the Saint Kingdom and Philosophy. No, months ago. Like,
as soon as he got under house arrest, he set it up.
One presumes.
Or pretty close.
Or even
and
before
once
that,
again,
maybe.
the show is bad at telling us how much time has passed.
Yeah, we have no
between
idea how
events.
much time has passed. It's... Yes. Who... Is there an official timeline online? Is there some kind of, like, when this happens?
I'm sure there's something that someone has thrown together.
Because I would equally believe that this has all happened in a week and that this has all happened over the course of a decade. Like... Either could be possible.
Notably, we don't even know what year it is because they haven't mentioned, like,
no,
they haven't done an After Colony 195 or anything like that.
It is very, like, how much time is passing in this show.
Time is liminal.
I mean, it kind of is. Yes.
Yeah. Anyhow, he reveals Epion to Hiro.
Yeah,
and then we
like,
see...
See this mech? It shows you the future. You don't want to see the future. Get in it. Like...
Or rather, he said, I tried it, and I couldn't see a proper future.
Yeah, it's complicated.
So you should try it and tell me what you see.
Yeah, yes. It's the Oracle at Delphi didn't give me, like, an answer I wanted, so you go in and ask my question and tell me what the answer is. Like...
Yeah. And we cut now
go ahead.
to Oz trying to finish off Wing Zero by placing a bunch of demolition charges, notably 3 times what it would take to
destroy
blow up a Leo.
Which we know is
insufficient.
Woefully insufficient.
Yeah.
They're not even placing them in, like, places that might help, like, under the armor. They're just affixing them to the outside of the armor.
They're not affixing them to the joints or the engines or
putting it inside the cockpit or something.
Or on the, like, ammo bay for the massive charge gun.
Yeah. No, none of that. Just tape it to the armor. Whatever.
Yeah. Then Zex shows up in the Tall Geese. He's swamped by mobile dolls.
He sure is. He is ultimately defeated by said mobile dolls after taking out a large quantity of them.
Yeah, he takes up a large portion of them.
Yeah.
And then continues to get swamped. Like, they keep sending more in, more than he can deal with.
And then he says farewell to his beloved friend the Tall Geese, sets it to detonate, and, like, space jumps over to Wing Zero.
Yeah, and then takes Wing Zero and wipes out the rest of the mobile dolls.
What is our counter here on self-destructing Gundams?
Let's roll it back, because we had Hiro did his self-detonation.
Hiro twice.
Twice did a self-detonation.
Yeah. Sandrock.
Do we count Duo's failed attempt?
No. Yeah, he hit the button. We'll count it.
Okay. And it did get destroyed, like, not too long after that. And then, I think it's Tall Geese. So we're up to 5 now.
5. This is the 5th time. Will it go away forever this time? No, of course not.
No.
Tall Geese will return.
It's
in classic James Bond style.
Yeah. And Zex takes it for a spin, takes out a bunch of mobile dolls.
Works great. Doesn't go crazy.
Not yet, anyway.
Yet. He gets through a battle without going crazy.
Yeah, which is more than any of the Gundam
everybody else has
pilots have pulled off, so that's already impressive.
He's also, like, he marvels at, like, oh, yeah, everything that was wrong. He's like, oh, it's so fast, right? All
it's
the
so
things
responsive.
The thing he was complaining about on the Tall Geese, it doesn't have that problem.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So we go back to Hiro with the Epion, and it's equipped with Treize's off-brand Zero system.
It's, like, cooler than the Zero system. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It certainly has a cooler, like, piloting suit.
Yeah. It's got this cool faceplate thing.
Yeah. It reminds me...
Also, it instead of just showing you, like, a targeting thing that kind of makes you go crazy, it, like, turns your eyes into, like, glowy evil.
Myriad of colors.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, notably, Hiro immediately has a mental break after beginning his fight with this thing.
Well, because he, like, wrecks some mobile dolls. He has a very cool transformation sequence. He has a giant heat whip. It's a
notably,
awesome
this
thing.
thing also transforms into an aerial vehicle.
We skipped his conversation with Treize about, like, he's like, Treize, do you think you've created a god? And Treize is like, yeah, kinda. Because he's like, well, the reason it's important is he says the thing the Epion does is remove all distractions from the warrior.
Yeah.
Which I would argue it does not do.
No.
But, in fact, it provides a bigger distraction of trying to get you to kill your friends, which is very distracting. I mean, Treize is never right about anything. Why would he have been right about that?
Yeah. For a man who, like, manages to pass off... Well, and he was very right for, like, the first third of the show.
Sure. Nothing philosophical he says is ever correct.
That's true.
He is at one point he was definitely a competent pilot and like strategist. But yeah, no, he kills a bunch of mobile dolls, great. And then it starts trying to get him to kill the Oz guys. Now
the Treize faction.
The Treize faction Oz guys. Yeah, in their like Leos. And importantly, this is relevant. They're confused about whether or not this thing is friendly. They've never seen the Epion before.
Because Treize didn't bother to tell anyone.
Or put an IFF... Yeah, which also, he's been under house arrest. The Roma Feller this entire time has been like, Treize can't leave, being unaware that he has the Super Ultra Gundam that he could absolutely have left at literally any time.
Yeah. And the only reason he didn't is because the system was like...
Your system was like, I refuse to show you, like, your death.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it reminds me of. You're not gonna get this reference. There is a tribe of orcs in Warcraft who pluck out their eye to see a vision of their own death. And, like, it's a whole thing. And that's what the Epion reminds me of. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, it starts trying to get him to kill these guys, and he's like, no, I shouldn't kill them. Like, they're fighting my enemies. And then they shoot at him. Because they're not sure if he's an enemy. And
he did just, like, buzz them really close, like he was...
Yeah, because he's about to fly at them to, like, attack them. He's like, no, he pulls off. And then they're like, it seems like an enemy to me. And as we all know, when an overpowered robot is rampaging through things, and you don't know whose side it's on, the correct thing to do is to shoot at it with your ineffectual guns. That's what everyone does in this show. You have to. It's required.
Standard. It's how they were trained.
Right, and it dooms these men. Because basically, they shoot at him, and the Epion goes from, I guess we should kill them, to threat detected. And like...
And Hiro gets the most psychotic face.
Yeah. Because he then, his mental break here is he decides anyone who is fighting is my enemy.
Yeah, anyone who is active in the current combat zone needs to die.
I don't think he's limiting that to current combat zone.
Well, no, but like that's what he ends up managing to limit it to this time.
Sure. But he definitely, like, has this, like, break of, like, as the champion of peace, all who fight must die. Right? Which is... Oh, buddy. Batman has some things to say about that.
Yeah. Superman has some things to say about that.
Lots of other media has things... This media has things to say about that.
And it will say those things in the most confusing way it possibly can.
Batman was much clearer about it. Take your cues from Batman.
And then Hiro returns to... Notably, one of the other things that we did skip over with the Treize Hiro conversation, there's a lot.
It's so confusing and it's so long and there's so much to it.
It's such a meandering, odd conversation.
Yeah. But yes, one of the things maybe it's better in Japanese. Like, maybe it just doesn't meander across topics as much.
Maybe. But Treize notably mentions that he hopes that he says, before you go, Hiro, this suit is not meant for a winner. I want you to return as a loser. And Hiro's like, I do too. I want to return as a loser.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. I don't know what metric they're putting forth as like winner.
Well, I think it's philosophical because he does win the battle. Obviously, that's not what they mean though. He has lost himself, right? He has lost philosophically. He has lost, morally, and
he returns. And Treize is like, good, you've returned. And now that you've seen the vision that I know you must have seen, here's a gun. Please use it to shoot me.
Please shoot me with it. And Hiro is like, I'm not worthy, and passes out.
Yeah. And Treize just kind of stands there holding the gun with a look on his face that says, this was not going according to plan.
Yeah, it's like, this is like the 5th time this kid has disappointed me, and I'm kind of mad about it.
Yeah, he's got a very, like, grumpy face.
Yeah, like, I thought this was going somewhere else.
Yeah. And then that's where the episode ends.
Yep, that's it. That's the end of the episode.
And we cut to episode 35 with a new blurb.
And it's a better episode.
Yeah, it also explains the Zero system badly in the blurb.
It does explain the Zero system badly.
We explained it better in the episode that we explained it.
Yes.
When it first showed up.
The blurb here gives this weird overview where it says that it causes you to be unable to differentiate friend from foe, but that's not what it does. It causes you to go to the extremes on what you think your foes are.
Well, basically what it does is it presents this gross oversimplification of what the system actually does.
Yes.
Which I get it, it's an opening blurb, but even for even for a simplification, it's too
well. And the other thing that's interesting here is because much like Duo, that is not the problem Zex is gonna have with the system.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Zex has the same problem Duo does, that it presents him solutions to killing his enemy that don't avoid killing his friends.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't care about collateral damage. It cares about...
Spoiler alert, Zex has his mental break in the Zero system this episode.
Notably, the frustrating... We'll get to it, but the thing that frustrates me about what happens with him is that it does the thing where it presents him, okay, you could hit your enemy with this firing solution, but it'll also hit, your friendly spaceship. And he takes the shot, and then his opponent dodges out of the way of the shot, and he just hits the spaceship.
We're skipping way ahead.
We are, but we're talking about the Zero system. And it's just the Zero system doesn't even work. Right? It doesn't even hit the opponent in that moment, right? It doesn't even accomplish what it needed to.
Well, so you could put that down to... That's right around when Zex snaps out of his mental break. So he could have pulled the gun off target at that moment to avoid completely destroying the Peace Million.
Or because he also doesn't want to kill his opponent. So...
Yeah.
Because that's what actually causes him to stop, is not hitting the Peace Million. It's no. I don't need to be lethal. He tries to fight he tries to spar with somebody in the Zero system. The Zero system doesn't understand the concept of sparring. Yeah. Right? It's just yes, lethal on opponent.
Yeah. But anyway, we've skipped way ahead. That's almost all that's towards the end of the episode. Going back to the beginning of the episode, Tro is alive and is walking in the rain.
Yeah, towards
somewhere.
We
get a quick flashback of him being recovered by some colony
salvage drone thing.
Yeah,
sure.
And he runs into Catherine with stock shopping bag number 3.
Yeah. It has the French bread coming out of it and everything. There are presumably 2 tomatoes, a head of cabbage, and a jug of milk in there.
And once again, we have to say, hey, remember Catherine?
Yeah, remember Catherine? Remember the circus? Remember how Tro was in the circus?
Remember the knife throwing thing?
Yeah. That's relevant again.
Yeah,
after many years.
And then we immediately cut away from that to Wufei fighting dudes at a martial arts dojo.
Because Wufei's back too.
Yeah, Wufei's back. Literally, the episode is called The Return of
It is called The Return of Wufei, and both of us went, does he have to?
Yeah. And then Wufei's colony is attacked by... okay.
Whoa. You are skipping over this training scene, which is hilarious.
Yeah, so Wufei bodies the guy
he's fighting, obviously.
And then Master Long. That's his name, Master Long.
Master Long is this old, short, like, Yoda-type figure. I mean, he's more human than that. He's not green or anything. But
he is the wrinkled old master guy who's much shorter than everyone else.
Absolutely hilarious. Because he does this, like, wise dispensing of wisdom, like, you must train harder, Wufei.
You must fight the inner demons within yourself.
You must fight your demons within yourself. But then also has these very, like, human moments.
Yeah.
Where he'll get, like, flung around and stuff. And it's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, he is that character who is trying to be the wise master, but, like, sometimes can't keep it up.
He is trying to be the turtle master from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he's trying to be Oogway, he's trying to be Yoda, he's trying to be, any of these characters. But again, sometimes we'll just the
facade will break.
Wufei won't get it, and he'll have to be like, no, this is what I mean. Like,
he's like, okay, listen,
Wufei. Wufei, just let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah.
There is a scene coming up. It's really funny with him. Continue.
Yeah. So they have a whole discussion about Wufei's inner turmoil that he's undergoing. Because he doesn't think... Once again, Wufei doesn't think he's worthy of his upgraded Nataku.
Right. And the master is like, you must defeat yourself.
You must fight the battle within your mind.
Yeah. Which is accurate, but...
And then he goes
not in the way Wufei interprets it.
Yeah. And then their colony gets attacked.
Yeah, their colony gets attacked. Which also... Okay. Because it had been explained to us that all the colonies are on Oz's side, and that had all been settled. We were done with that plotline, right? It went away. But not this colony, apparently.
No.
Martial arts colony never gave in.
No.
Apparently.
Apparently not. The Kung Fu colony continues to resist.
Yeah. He has this line, like, we've been up here for 100 years fighting the evils of space. Which...
Not 100 years, but definitely he said we've been up here for a long time fighting the evils of
however many years he says. But it's very, like... I assume what he means is, like, surviving in the harsh environment of space. That's not how he phrases it, right? He phrases it like we have to fight the eldritch monsters of space with Kung Fu.
Yeah, like there's, like, a second anime that's going on in the background of this one that we just never see, which is a bunch of Kung Fu dudes fighting,
like, space monsters,
Yeah, fighting, like, space aliens in like, martial arts battles in the streets of the colony.
Right, and it's like, I don't believe you that there are space monsters in this universe. Well, yeah, it's because you've never seen any, because the Kung Fu guys are good at their job. Like... Yeah. Not for long.
There's a reason you only see them once.
Yeah.
Yeah, because... Wufei gets in, Gundam Shenlong. Upgraded Shenlong. So there's a whole new suite of upgrades to this thing.
Sure.
So his glaive is now...
like a trident.
It's a trident, and it's double-ended. It's got two spear ends that can be activated on and off.
Yes. Which is cool.
It's very cool. His dragon arm now has two cannons instead of one big flame cannon. And
he still has the, like, snake shooter thing.
Yeah. Well, that the dragon head, that also has the cannons on it. That was...
Yeah.
But now he also has, like, a scorpion tail double cannon that he never had before.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It doesn't come up very often.
It's still Gundam Shenlong, and it's still piloted by Wufei, so I still don't care.
He fights some dudes, goes outside, fights some more dudes. And
Yep.
then they say, hey, stop fighting or we'll blow up your colony.
Right.
And then Master Long is like, not if we blow it up first!
Yeah, he, like, goes into the dojo and is like, is everything prepared? Yes. And he's like, good. The only way Wufei will, like, find himself is if he is, like, again, interestingly, free of all distractions. Themes. And yeah, they blow their own colony up so that Wufei won't be, like, distracted by needing to protect or save them. And because he messages Wufei and he gives this, like, one last wise sage advice about fighting your inner demons, but it's as the colony is blowing up, and so, like, a thing blows up next to him and there's explosive decompression and he gets, like, sucked off his podium
And just goes, ah!
He goes, ah! It's the funniest fucking thing.
It shouldn't be funny, but it is.
It's extremely funny.
Because it's like the equivalent of Yoda.
Yeah,
like giving a last speech to Luke and then getting and then tripping and falling.
It looks like he gets like the vaudeville hook off screen.
Yeah.
It's like if in Kung Fu Panda, right? Like Oogway did his whole speech, and then instead of a slow petal blossom that takes him away, he just got sucked off the cliff.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And Wufei's distraught over this. And goes,
right, of course he is, because it's a sad moment, technically speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, also, everyone in the colony can't have been in on that.
No! They just unilaterally decide to blow up the
Dojo guy
entire
killed
colony.
everybody!
They killed the entire colony!
Yeah, they
the whole
blew
colony
the whole
is
thing up!
fucking gone!
Colony 005 is gone!
Yeah. And
Wufei, kills all the remaining Oz guys,
we'll
obviously.
Get to that, he hasn't quite done that yet.
Sure.
Because we cut to Howard and Zex.
Oh, yeah.
Out of nowhere, Howard and Zex are like, hey, there's some fighting going on around this colony.
Have we not gotten to it yet, or did we skip the battleship thing?
We're getting to it.
Okay.
This is where we're gonna.
I thought that was before this.
It's right after this.
Okay.
Because it's a real quick scene.
Yeah.
Because Howard and Zex are talking, and Howard goes, hey, there's some action going on over by this colony. I think Wufei might be involved. And
He says there's a serious battle, which is underselling it.
Yeah. Which means Wufei probably is involved.
Yeah.
And Zex is like, he's fighting our common foe. We should try and recruit him. And
Howard is like, you really shouldn't.
Well, he doesn't say that, but he does give Zex a look like, but must we?
Yeah. Well, he does say something like, it will be difficult to convince him to,
Yeah, he's like, look, Wufei is the most lone wolf out of the entire team of lone wolves that is the Gundam pilots. Yeah. Are you sure we'll
Zex
even be able to
convince
convince him? And Zex is like, nah, we can do it. Yeah. I can convince him.
Well, it turns out Wufei actually just kind of works, we'll get to this, but he works on, Warhammer Orc logic. He will follow the biggest.
Or DBZ logic.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is, if you defeat me in battle, I will join your side.
Yeah.
Wufei has made the mistake of thinking he is the protagonist of a shonen anime.
He sure has.
He thinks he's the protagonist of a shonen battle anime.
Unfortunately, his name is not Hero.
Yeah, his name is not literally Hero, and he is not in a shonen battle anime.
Yeah, God, it takes everything in me to not call Hero protagonist.
Yeah.
Because cyberpunk. Long story there.
Yeah,
but anyway.
So we then cut to Tubarov and Duke Dermail.
Yeah.
And at first, it seems like they're just going to do another rehash of their evil plans to rule the world. But then Tubarov is like, we have the mobile dolls. Because
just spam those.
Duke Dermail's like, we need an overwhelming power.
Yeah.
And Tubarov's like...
because he talks about... This is actually interesting from Dermail, because he talks about, he is legitimately committed to the peace thing. Not in the way Relina wants. But he is legitimately yeah, I want us to stop fighting. I want to go back, presumably, to enjoying my money and not fighting. Yeah. Right? And running the world. Which is a totally understandable motivation.
And running the world is so much easier when nobody's fighting anymore.
Right. And he's like, the mobile dolls are good for, like, winning these, like, military engagements, but they're not, like, a suppression force.
Yeah,
they will suck at that, right?
So I want you to build a Peace Million class battleship. And we both, at the same time, went, Uchu Senken Yamato.
Because it's space battleships.
Yeah, it's a space
Peace Million class
battleship.
space battleship. Which, I am so confused about why they are Peace Million class. What? Why? Did the Sank Kingdom build giant battleships?
Well, it's not, because it's not Peacecraft.
No.
So what is... Yeah. Well... We'll go over that more because there's more to unpack there. But basically, he wants to build. It's called a space battleship. It might as well be a Death Star.
Yeah, essentially. He is basically like, build me a Death Star.
So then we
fear will keep the other kingdoms in line.
So then we cut to Ketra walking through the desert, and he doesn't even have a horse with no name.
He doesn't. He's just walking through the desert.
And we figure out, we get a flashback as to why he's walking through the desert.
Yeah.
Which is, he decides to leave the Sank Kingdom to go pick up Sandrock.
Right, because they have intel from Sally Poe about where Sandrock is.
Yes, because as you'll recall, Sally Poe took Sandrock last time when she teamed up with Noin.
Correct.
And Noin says, yeah, you can trust Sally Poe, she's cool.
And notably, Noin even, like, promised to, like, send a Gundam pilot that way when she found one. So, this is kind of the fulfillment of that.
Yeah, well, and also, Ketra knows, because I think he even says, I know, because he's worked with Sally Poe before.
Yeah.
She's the one who helped them stop New Edwards base from blowing up.
Correct.
And...
But so, he's going to go find...
And he decides to take this, like, weird...
Plane. Like, it's a plane.
It's a jet. It's a fighter jet.
They've shown this jet occasionally before. It has shown up. It's kind of weird looking. It has these weird, like, diagonal control surfaces. It's very plane designed by someone who's trying to make a cool looking plane and has no idea how planes work.
Right. It's a very Ace Combat plane.
It's a very Ace Combat plane. Which, this is a show with Max. Who cares?
And we'll see why no one uses that plane very often.
Yeah, it is weird that he doesn't take a mobile suit.
Yeah, because they have one of the flying mobile suits.
Yeah, you'd think he could have just taken one of those, but he doesn't.
No, presumably because he was always going to ditch the plane there, and he
doesn't have to bring the mobile suit back. I guess
because he's going to presumably just go back in
Sandrock. But also, I don't know where he expected to, like, land this plane.
Also, Sandrock can't fly, so I don't know how he was.
Yeah, you'd think he would have taken a carrier, if anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
Anyway, when he gets to the desert area.
Yeah, there's a couple of flight mobile suits that he can't engage because he's not in a mobile suit, and they tell him to screw off.
Yeah, they tell him this is contested airspace. Leave now, or we'll shoot you down. And he's like, "Wow, you're not even gonna, like, guide me out."
Yeah, and then they're like,
he's not moving. Kill him.
Yeah, just immediately.
And then he crashes.
And then they shoot him down.
And they shoot him down. And notably, he gets up. Like, it cuts to him.
He just kind of walks away from this crash. Like,
he walks away from the crash. Gets a parachute off of his back. We never see a parachute.
He did not
deployed.
parachute out, but he has a parachute on his back when he's getting out of the rubble.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. He's in the desert walking. That's it.
Yeah. And he is out to get Sandrock. And surely the Magwanaut core.
One would presume he would also retrieve the Magwanaut core. Because notably, he had this whole... Or there was this whole discussion with Noin about how, like, we need more soldiers. Because, like, despite all the peace stuff, like, the... Romefeller Foundation is amassing troops on the border.
Yeah.
Right? This is... When she specifically says, this is what happened to the Sank Kingdom last time.
Yeah.
The Alliance did exactly this to them, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually everyone gets tired of the peace stuff and they just roll them with tanks. Right?
Yeah.
And we need... and this is why, because she's letting in, like, former Oz soldiers and former Alliance soldiers, like, because we need people, right? Mm-hmm. We need an army so we don't get just run over.
Yeah, we need a standing army that can actually fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noin has her own lads now. It's true. She has graduated from lad to being the one who has the lads.
Yeah, she also, like, they call her by her military rank, and she's like, we don't do rank here. And I'm like, you are bad at running a military.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but also you're bad at running a military. You're just bad at it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Rank is important. Orders coming from a clear source is important. Like...
Look... Even if it's called by different names, almost every organization on this planet has a rank structure.
Yeah. Well, and it's... Because what she's trying to get at is that you don't... When you're not on the battlefield, you don't need to do the rank thing. Because that's not nearly as important, right?
Yeah.
You can have a rank doesn't have to come with all of the, like, honorific that we usually give it and all of the, like saluting is a thing that we do. It's not required to be an effective military.
Yeah.
Right. It instills discipline or whatever, but it's a long discussion. But you can be an effective military without that.
Well, especially when the people you're recruiting are all former members of professional military.
Right. Sure. Yeah, we don't have to think of you as this, better than us. Right, to but you do still need officers, right?
Well,
you still need someone to be in charge.
Well, and then notably, someone does just say, well, then can we call you captain?
Yeah, because they call her lieutenant, and she's like, no. And he's like, can we call you captain? And she's like, you're not going to let this go, are you?
If it'll make you feel better.
I think she should have held out for a higher rank.
Yeah, I mean, she's running the entire nation's military. She should be at least...
Supreme Commander.
Yeah, Generalissimo, come on now.
Yeah. And notably, this is also where we get the thing, right, about, like, the mech that... Because she's talking to Hero. Mm-hmm. And about, like, the mech that
Well, that comes up later.
Is that later?
Yes, because we're moving from Ketra to Relina.
Sure.
At a conference, talking with some dudes about
this
peace.
Bit.
And how the peace that the Romefeller Foundation wants and how they're attempting to achieve it is not the way that...
Not what anyone actually wants.
Right.
And they're all like, yeah, obviously.
And then Relina has a talk with Pagan.
Right, who is just fine.
Yeah.
The ambulance fixed him.
Yep. And then we have Noin with all of the
stuff
we just mentioned, and now we cut to Noin talking to Hiro.
Right. And the weird takeaway from this is that she says the mech was given to them by the Right Honorable Treize Kushrenada, which is like...
He is neither right nor is he honorable.
But the thing that's interesting here is that Noin still respects Treize.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Because last I checked, she betrayed Treize.
Well, she respects Treize, but she loves Zex.
Yeah, sure. But she's not with Zex. Well, I guess she's with Zex's sister. I guess it counts.
Yeah, because she's fulfilling she sees herself as fulfilling a duty that Zex has charged her with, even though he never did.
Yeah.
Which is protecting his homeland and keeping it from falling a second time.
Yes.
Keeping his only remaining family alive.
Right, which is fair enough. But yeah, it is just interesting that apparently she still feels positively about Treize.
Yeah.
At least, odd.
It is. Yeah, and then we cut to Wufei continuing to fight the mobile dolls, and then he finishes that fight, and then Zex shows up in the Peace Million.
Yes.
That's when they mention the name of the ship as being the Peace Million.
Well, this is when they mentioned this ship being the Peace Million.
Yes, this is the Peace Million that is the namer of the Peace Million class space
one
battleship.
Presumes, yes.
Presumably.
Because that's how ship classes work.
Yeah. So now I am moving to... I think we have found the name for this, which is the space battleship, not Peace Million, but the this is Zex's Yamato.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Zex's White Base, if we want to just go reference another...
But it is... Now it's confusing
No,
that, like...
it's Zex's super battle fortress.
Yes, it is. But it's confusing, because, okay, so Roma Feller doesn't have one of these things, and wants, well, just one. Right? We're going to suppress the whole world with one of these. But Howard just has one.
Yeah, Howard just...
Why does Howard have a Death Star? Apparently.
Yeah.
It's odd. It's very weird. These are the same. It's weird that they're the same, right? It's weird that they have the... I don't get it. I don't get why that's a thing. Because Howard could just have any ship. He doesn't have to have...
He could have their version of the Bebop.
Right. He could have whatever random, like, hero chip thing that you want. Why does he have the ship that gives the name to the class of ship that Roma Feller wants to build, again, one of,
and notably
to rule the entire world?
And notably, when they build that ship, it looks completely different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Which is not how ship classes work.
No, it's not. Again, which further brings us to, why do they have the same name? They don't need to have the same name. That name reference is strange.
Well, it's not the same name. They literally say this class. I don't know why they're the same class, but they're not the same name. They're not going to name it the same thing.
I know they're not going to name it the same thing, but why is the name Peace Million attached to their super Battlestar thing and also to this ship? It's so strange.
Yeah, and it's never explained.
It's never explained at all why the name is attached
hardly even mentioned.
No, it's because I don't think the name of this ship is mentioned past this episode. Maybe one more time.
Yeah, I think
and I don't think the fact that other ship is a Peace Million class is ever mentioned again.
No,
because they just call it by its name after that.
Yeah.
So it's so weird that line from Dermail is, build me a Peace Million class battleship. It makes no sense.
Correct. So Zex comes out and says, "Yo, need a lift? Wanna join my team?
Wanna hang out?"
And Wufei's like, "No."
Wufei's like, "I am mourning the death of my master." Like,
I'm mourning the death of my master, and also last time I saw you were fighting on the side of Treize Kushrenada.
Yeah. Aren't you an Oz guy? Aren't you like the best Oz guy?
Oh, I left Oz, and then he's like, "Well, I don't want to deal with a traitor."
Well, they have that conversation while fighting.
Yeah. Well, because notably they fight. And Zex
is like, "You won't listen to me. What'll make you like listen to me?" And Wufei is like, "You have to defeat me."
And Zek's like,
"All
right,
yeah,
sure.
Okay,
yeah."
I thought that was gonna be way harder.
Yeah, and it turns out it is way harder because the zero system
fouls him up.
Yeah,
because again, it's not an effective weapon. Like it's bad at its job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that it has downsides; it's actively bad at its job.
Yeah,
it would be one thing if it always got the job done, but came with downsides.
You begin to see why. I mean, it becomes increasingly clear every single time why the original engineers did not put this into the Gundams that they sent to Earth.
Yes.
And why they were kind of upset that it got built in the first place.
Right. It's extremely clear why this technology was abandoned. Right.
Yeah.
It does not work. Again, it's not just that it hurts the pilot. It doesn't accomplish what it's supposed to. It doesn't work.
Yeah. And
again, unless your goal is to like exterminate all life, then it works perfectly.
Then we go to Zex having his mental break and all that stuff we discussed earlier, and Howard calling him to tell him to get a fucking grip.
He does. He literally calls him and tells him to get a grip.
You just almost took out the space battleship Zex Marquise. Like, why? Like, no. Stop.
Yeah.
Figure your shit out.
Right.
Zex.
Figure your shit out before you hurt somebody.
Yeah, and then we cut to the circus.
Right. We sure do.
Where
we find out that Troa has amnesia.
Yeah, Troa's amnesiac.
And some pretty bad PTSD.
Yes.
But he doesn't know about what.
Which, that would just...
He knows that he's traumatized, but he doesn't know by what.
Right.
Which is doubly traumatic.
And Catherine has decided to pose as his elder sister.
Yes. For some reason. Unclear. But yeah, he remembers nothing.
Well, and she has stated her outright intention to keep him away from conflict forever.
Yeah. Well, and because the circus leader, again, he's back, after so long, is like, oh, we're going to move the circus because there was a Gundam near here. And Troa hears the word Gundam and is like, Gundam, I know that word. Why do I know that word? I don't understand what that word means.
And then he has like a PTSD flashback.
Yeah, he like kind of curls into a fetal position and is like, oh, it's so cold.
Because, he was floating out in space for
one presumes that's from the floating in space.
Yeah.
Or maybe the being dead. Who knows?
Who could say?
Yeah.
And that's the end of that episode.
Sure is.
So that is episodes 34 and 35 of Gundam Wing.
Yep.
And we will join you next time with episodes 36 and 37, which I'm sure will be interesting.
Be probably yet another 90-degree turn in plot, as always.
Almost certainly.
I mean, at this point, I have a major dispute with the writers of this show, and I think I'm going to need to call one of the mobile doll judges to settle it.
Yeah. So, until next time, peace.
See ya.